One. Hello, everyone. Welcome to
Hello.
Sunday Shift.
Happy Sunday. We're shifting.
It's happening. This has been a hell of a week for me personally. It's been a hell of a week for Oakland. It's just been
hmm
a lot going on. So we feel really like privileged to be able to take this little bit of time to talk with y'all about GH. If you have not, please like, share, subscribe. If you're watching us on YouTube, you can also leave us a comment. If you're listening on any of your preferred platforms. Buy some merch, y'all. Like get a t-shirt. I see a couple people have. I would love to see people in their t-shirts. Send us some pictures. We'll post you up on our socials. And you can buy us a coffee. We appreciate Henry, Pamela, and Heather, who have all bought us coffees recently. It is greatly appreciated. Um, and this is a labor of love. So we pay for like the Zoom and we pay for the podcast, all that stuff. And so this like actually just makes it so that um, you know, we don't have to spend extra money. So it is we get to do what we like and we don't have to like have out of pocket for it. So thank y'all for helping with that. We appreciate it.
Yeah.
Whew. That's housekeeping. How are you? How are you doing?
Yeah, I mean, like you said, Oakland is kind of reeling over a couple of gun violence incidents that have happened. Um, my week has just been personally been okay. Well, it's just working. Um, I didn't watch anything, only watched one thing that's notable because, like I said last week, whenever I'm doing my hair, I tend to watch old stuff over again, and I rewatched all of Lord of the Rings
Mm.
again. I don't even know how many times I've rewatched that, though. It's crazy. But I did watch yesterday, Being Eddie, which is
Oh yeah.
about Eddie
Hmm.
Murphy, and it was fascinating, and it was actually a reminder about how prolific he has been and how long he's been in the business. So it was an interesting kind of callback, remembering childhood and all the stuff that happened. So I do recommend if you were or a fan of Eddie or you're just interested. I think it's an interesting documentary. But yeah, other than that, that's my week. I just watched General Hospital, and as the young people say, I was gagged a couple of times.
That is funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been traveling for work. I like shared with Tanya before we hopped on that my aunt passed this week, which is really sad. So I'm in Milwaukee, as you could tell by this like dark, shady background. And
Mm-hmm.
it's like dark outside as we're recording because ooh, that seasonal depression. Man, that seasonal depression been hitting, but I have been closing my Apple Fitness rings every day, trying to hit it back harder.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, we'll see. But I've been doing it. So yeah, that's just kind of been the week for me. You know what I have watched? Everybody was hating on it, and like, obviously that made me want to watch it. It's that like all is fair? It's the Kim Kardashian, Niecy Nash, Sarah Paulson,
Mm.
um, Glenn Close, like dramedy, whatever. It's a legal show on Hulu. Y'all,
Uh-huh.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I kind of like it. It was it is absolute trash, and I would not. I've talked about this with Tanya and with Tara from Port Misery a lot. There's stuff that I particularly will like love, but I wouldn't recommend it for other people to watch. And so, if you like stuff that's like a little trashy and a little campy, you
Mm.
would like this. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just messy. Um, you don't go there for like some sort of like over the top, like, just beautiful, whatever. You go there for mess, and it definitely delivered. So I enjoyed it. If people was giving it a zero
Good.
percent, it's got a good
Yeah.
percentage in my book.
Yeah, I did see an article or something saying that it got like zero on Rotten Tomatoes, and I'm still kind of like, what does that mean? But the thing is that you have some internet warriors who just love to give low ratings about shows, even if the show isn't actually bad.
Right.
And it usually and it's bad because like one of the shows that I liked that came out of the Star Wars series got low ratings, and then Disney decided not to re-up it. And I was
Oh
like,
yeah.
no.
Is that the
And
one with
so,
Manny?
right, yeah.
Yeah.
And so, you can't trust. I think Rotten Tomatoes is hard to trust anymore because you have those type of people giving these
Yep.
ratings.
Yep.
So I'm
You have
glad
people
that
who
you
have
were,
like agendas.
yeah, who have agendas and stuff. So I'm glad that you decided to give the show a chance. I don't have a particular interest in watching it, but I hate when Rotten Tomatoes or bad critic or bad, you know, critiques mess up a show that actually could be really good and
Right.
people miss out on enjoying something. So happy for you that it actually is okay.
Yeah. Like it a lot.
Yeah.
Um, well, let's get into GH this week.
Uh-huh.
Because I got some things to say. Now, I told Tanya off mic, I was like, listen, I did not rewatch. I usually will watch a show at least 2 times, sometimes three, just so that I know what I'm talking about. So, y'all gotta tell us in the comments this week if if and when, probably when I mess some things up, because I
Mhm.
didn't watch it again. Like at the very least, I'll like rewatch like Monday and Tuesday or something. I haven't rewatched anything.
Mhm.
So, so yeah, tell me who were your standout performances of the week.
So for me this week, I have to give it up to the young men, a part of the youth crew. Even though the youth were going through doing some serious shenanigans that was silly, it just had some really bad consequences. I think Finn Carr and Asher and Tones really pulled out all the stops with their performances. And so I really appreciated that. I want to recognize that. But also our fave, Michael, everybody's favorite Michael, Rory Gibson. Man, I loved what he did.
Uh,
I
love him.
loved it. And then finding Jeannie Francis, I think you know, she had been, Laura has been threatened by Sidwell. She's concerned about not doing well in the election, but at the same time, she recognizes what's important, and that's her grandson. And having that fierce fight back in her, I think I love that. I love the fierce grandma. I love the take no bullshit, but then at the same time, she's Laura. So just love Jeannie Francis altogether. And I think it's interesting timing that we have Maurice Bernard having her interviewed on State of Mind
Yeah,
when she's featured so prominently in a storyline right now. It's good timing. So I'm looking forward to listening to that podcast. But shout out to Jeannie. She's amazing.
always. I
Yeah.
mean, I just think a lot about how lucky we are to still have both like Jeannie Francis, and though she's not on this week, Jade Elliott, like part of the
Hmm.
show, like just
Yeah.
like the deep history of that there's not another genre that could do it like this. And so yeah, just always consider us really lucky to have these like just phenomenal actors on our little hospital show. But yeah,
Yeah.
I love the young folks. Finn Carr, man, real special to me. I think I really like him. The first time I knew of him was on like a Disney show. And so I had
Uh-huh.
seen him there. And so when we got him as Rocco, I was like excited. I was like, oh yeah, like I like this kid. Um, and he's just knocked it out of the park to me. I love his relationship
Uh-huh.
with the other kids, so believable as siblings to
Yeah.
Charlotte and to Danny. That kind of like trio really gave me some joy and delight this week. Um, and then like just him being scared and upset and all of that. Yeah, I mean, we just struck gold with that kid. I like him a lot.
Yep. Yep. Very. And because I'm the storyline that he's in triggered some, I hate throwing this word around, but basically triggered my trauma from
Mm,
um what happened with Michael when he was young.
yeah,
Man, that last scene had me like tearing up because I was like,
mm,
no.
not my baby.
So
Yeah,
yeah. So yeah.
yeah. So let's get into the week. Let's get into the week of what
Mhm.
happened. Because there was quite a bit.
Right,
Um,
a lot.
so we are continuing kind of on the like who shot Drew, like yeah, timeline, atmosphere, like it's just so much around this.
Yeah.
And so we have this like really great scene between Ned and Geo, and Geo is like really starting to understand that this is his family and
Hmm.
that they haven't done anything to him. They just want to know him, and that he actually needs them too. So I feel like Gio is best when he is like not mad, which is why he's been
Yeah.
so good with Emma, where he's like soft and he's like a sweetie. He really has those sweet moments with Tracy, and he had those sweet moments with Ronnie. That's where I personally like to see Gio. So I
Hmm.
really enjoyed the scenes he had with Ned. Um, and so Ned is like, we find out Tracy's at a spa in Paris, as she should be.
Yep.
And love that for her. Wish I was at a spa in Paris. And he is trying to take care of the moving the heirlooms and those things back to the mansion. And Drew runs up on him or hobbles upon him to tell him that he took them. Like, and he called the moving company, and the moving company brought him to his house.
I,
What?
I was just like random. I'm like, at the very least, the moving company should have called the person who originally hired them and said, "We've gotten a new direction. Is this okay?" I mean, just like, how you just gonna, yeah. Well, I guess he pulled the whole congressman thing, but still.
Now, okay, this is a big aside.
Right.
Now, I kind of laugh because this do sound like something that I could pull off if I'm being honest with you.
Oh, for real.
Because at first I was like, "What are you talking about? This is so stupid. Nobody would ever." But then I was like, you know what? I did an Airbnb years and years ago for work, and it was like a bunch of us for work staying there, and I had told them we were, and I was like, yo, the Wi-Fi up to par? Like we're in the South, like we need to have good Wi-Fi. And he's like, yeah, 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 yeah. We get there, Wi-Fi's trash. We're gonna be there for 2 weeks. So I'm like,
Uh,
yo, we actually need this. He starts ducking my calls. And so I called like the cable company from this man's house, and I got them to upgrade the Wi-Fi on my own. And so when I saw Drew do this, I was like, you know what, Tracy, you can't actually be mad because this really does feel like the vibe of something that you could do where you could call like a moving company and be like, actually, why don't you reroute it to my home?
I, I guess, but I was just like, still, I mean, in
No, it
my
was
mind,
silly.
yeah, it's very silly. But I guess you can. I mean, if someone, said, I'm the congressperson or I'm the city power and they put a power trip on you, then of course, I guess people, because I am assuming that's what Drew did, because
Right. That's what he
he
loves
does
to do.
intimidate people with his in your face, I'm a congressman, and you better do what I say type attitude. So that is possible, but it just seems so crazy to me that, he was able to do
Yes.
that.
Yes. It's wild. I'm
It's
not saying
kind of
it's right. It
wild.
was wild that I was able to change
Yeah.
people's Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert for that. Basically, this man, he had to finally come home because the cable people called him to be like, we're on our way.
And they're
And he saw that and he looked at me like, huh? I
what?
was like, well, I called you and you ducked me. So clearly somebody could get a hold of you. But
Yeah.
what I appreciated about the scene with Ned and Drew prior to like Ned, dropping
Mhm.
was this like Drew does all this of like bringing in people's past where stuff
Yeah.
that he was not there for. It's
Right.
also been confusing to me about what memories Drew has because they've never cleared that up. And it feels
Yeah.
obvious to me that he doesn't have the Jason memories because if he did have like the Jason memories and the Jason love, he could never have done what he did to Michael.
Hmm.
But we've never been told he didn't have that. We also don't know like the family memories that he's had prior to thinking he was Jason. And I do think that there is something there. They just have not given Drew any motivation, which is
Hmm.
tough with him because there is something to I'm taking these memories because I don't have any memories before this. Because Ned
Yeah.
was like, "Why you weren't there? You don't remember, Alan went to train or this, like, which is true. Like Drew physically wasn't there. His memories, if he's still got Jason's memories, would be there. But we would think that Drew actually doesn't remember anything
Hmm.
pre, you know, that. So he doesn't remember his former life. Is if
Right.
maybe I don't know. Have they ever cleared that up for us? I don't think they have.
I don't think they have. And I think one of the things that does seem to motivate him, even though it's not explicitly spelled out, is that he's trying to retain or earn a connection to the family. The reason why
Right,
he wants to have the mansion or he wants to have what's inside of it because the humans will not give him that connection.
right.
So now he's trying to seek it through things,
Hmm.
which is really kind of sad. But that's how it is. And so, he couldn't win the house, so now he's going to take the heirlooms.
Hmm.
So,
Yeah,
yeah, so whether or not, but that lends itself to thinking that he doesn't actually have the memories because he's trying to seek something that he doesn't have, a connection. Because
right.
if he did have the memories, then he wouldn't need all
Yeah. There's
that.
something about
Yeah.
Drew, just in everything that he's done. So actually, I'm gonna hold that. So because but I
Hmm.
want to come back to this. But so Drew and Ned are arguing. Ned like holds his chest, is like clearly having some kind of cardiac episode. Drew thinks he's joking, and like just kind of walks away from him,
Right.
which was
Usually
wild.
yeah, it is wild. Because he's not only think he's joking, he thinks he's not good at joking. He thinks it's
Right,
like this is not a good fake heart attack, Ned, or something like
right.
that he said, and then walks away. It was especially cruel. But as we've seen, he has no problem with being cruel. He's cruel to everybody, especially
It came
in his
to his
dealings.
own daughter.
His own daughter, other kids, he's cruel to.
Hmm.
And then to, have Sam's family, the way he talks about Sam as if she didn't matter.
Yeah,
Um, the man has, it's sad how little conscience he has or little, empathy.
yeah. I mean, so I guess that's like part of my issue. We're gonna
Mhm,
talk like later in the show
mhm,
about Cameron Matheson's like post or
mhm,
whatever.
mhm.
But part of what frustrates me is I don't want to like I'm really clear that I hate Drew. Like that's not like I hate everything about him. I hate the way he walks, the way he talks, the way he dressed. Like I hate everything about Drew. And there
I kind
is
of like how
something
it dresses,
there's
but
something so cartoonish about what they're doing, and I do
yeah,
not understand it because I think there's a difference between writing someone in a mini series versus like
uh-huh,
writing someone for like long form storytelling, like a soap. And GH has this habit of having people go too far, and then we as the audience are like, okay, so how are you going to pull them back from this? And that's the thing
yeah,
with Drew. They haven't even given him proper motivation. If the motivate, I can think of why he might do these things. I don't think it's good. I
right,
don't think it's okay. But they haven't given Drew this motivation, and not explicitly.
mm-hmm,
Like it is something to you say I'm family, I make a mistake, and then you discard me. I clearly was not family. Michael was family. I was not family.
right,
That is something. But he's been so disgusting.
mm-hmm,
You too grown to have these kind of mommy daddy issues, so nobody feels bad for you. So now you've done things like try to bulldoze the crypt. Now you've done things like not it's not just you keeping Scout from Danny, it's you keeping Scout from everyone who loves her. It's Scout
Hmm.
being like, oh yeah, daddy doesn't talk about mommy. He talks about, oh, he only talks about Willow. So
Hmm.
we don't have the nuances of character that would make us say, yeah, I disagree with you and he's wrong, but I get it. No, that doesn't exist. And so even with the Ned thing, Drew, we didn't even get a scene of Drew finding out and feeling bad. So he's
Right,
just being cartoonishly evil, walks away from Ned. Like when and I think that I do believe that Drew didn't think he was really having a heart attack. I don't think Drew would have just left Ned on the ground having a heart attack. I don't. I don't
right.
know. He could have. Who knows? I don't think that though.
Yeah, I kind
So
of agree with you. Like, he's gone to a place where it's hard to pull him back from in the sense that, yeah, I just gave a kind of a reasoning why he might be so after these things. But then on the other hand, he's unnecessarily cruel to multiple people without having a reason. Like, we can
yeah.
guess his reason for hating Michael or even Jason, right? But having those feelings, having that hatred extend to everybody, Danny,
Who
Marco,
you raised?
uh,
You thought he was
who you
yours,
raised, right? To, just being mean to everybody that's associated with the Quartermains, that is not understandable. You can have I can be mad at, let's say, my brother and my family, but
right?
I'm not going to be mad at my mom simply because he's related to my brother. I'm not going to be mad at everybody in the world because of that. And I'm not going to be unnecessarily cruel to them because of that. And I think
Hmm.
that's the hard thing that to justify in fans and to understand and to bring them back from.
Right,
Yeah.
right. And I mean, and we talked about this before, but there's no grounding force because usually
Right.
your biggest villain will have family. So
Hmm.
you think about like an Adam Chandler. End of the
Hmm.
day, he always had a steward.
Hmm. He
Like
always has
the
Stewart.
that was, and the love for his kids, but even though he will beef with them sometimes, but like
Right.
he always had like Stewart to soften him. You think
Yeah.
about, Todd as an anti-hero on One Life to Live. One thing about Todd, he was holding it down for Star, period.
Hmm.
No matter
And
how evil Todd could be.
yeah, and then Vicky, in a sense, his older sister,
Yeah,
kind of
exactly.
grounded him as well.
Yeah,
Um, yeah. So
yeah. So he doesn't
truth
have
is,
anything, and
right.
like he might have Willow, but he's still manipulating her, lying to her,
Hmm.
not having her best interest in mind, and that relationship isn't rootable.
Right.
So now what?
Yeah. I mean, either it was this week or last week, we've seen that he's willing to risk Willow's freedom just so he
Hmm.
can put Michael in jail.
Yeah, that's weak. Yeah, yeah,
Yep. So
yeah.
he has like no
So
grounding force almost.
no, it's bad.
Yeah.
And so then we have everybody goes to, Ned goes to the hospital because let me back up. Sorry, this is my brain, y'all.
Yeah.
So Ned is laying on the ground. Geo and Emma are making plans to be on some mess, and they go out and see him. We now have Geo very clear that Ned is his grandpa. That's what he's calling him. And he tries to help administer CPR. Emma, though she hates her, goes to get Britt.
Right. Hmm.
Now, though Britt is an OB, she also apparently is a cardio expert.
I think at the very least, almost all doctors know CPR. That at the very least. Now she oversteps that when she gets to the hospital and starts directing Portia about what she should do with the surgery. That's I was just like, it's a little too far, man.
Right. Um, so they go to they go to the hospital. They try to take care of Ned. And we're kind of in limbo. Ned needs surgery, but we don't know what else is going to be happening with him. We have Janet Elliott. I don't know if she's on vacation or something, but she's off screen. I also think they
Mhm.
probably wanted to center so much of the story on Olivia. excuse me, Olivia and Brooklyn and not on Tracy because we just had like these big emotional stories from Tracy.
Yeah.
But when Tracy finds out
Ooh.
that
Hmm.
Drew
On site.
left her son
Uh-huh.
dying on the ground, it's about to be.
On site. Like, for everybody. I'm just like, that's it. That's all I can think about.
I got the well, you already know.
Right.
Like he about to rain the hell down on the little town of Port Charles on top of Drew's
Yeah.
house.
Because at this point, nobody knows that what he did. It
Mm-mm.
was between
No,
him and Ned. So
right.
I don't know how people are gonna find that out unless Drew,
Ned,
being the megalomaniac that he is, yeah, Ned or Drew himself might even brag, be like, yeah, whatever. Ned didn't have a heart attack. He may
right.
even say something to folks because he's not crazy.
Or he could like maybe feel bad. I don't know.
Uh-huh.
But
Or he can be like, well, throw it in Tracy's face and like, didn't you do the same thing? I did it by accident. You did it on purpose. I could totally see him say something like that.
oh my God, he's so terrible.
Right.
Um, but before they find out, we have Lulu talking to Olivia very heavy-handedly. Everybody now hates Britt, even though, and then we move to Britt saving Ned's life. So now we
Hmm.
know we're not gonna hate Britt. Um, and then we have Shaylin having their conversation.
I know,
So,
right? But then I'm still disappointed. Brooklyn didn't stand
right.
her ground.
So, um, Dante gets summoned by Brooklyn. This is all pre-Ned heart attack. Gets
Hmm.
summoned by Brooklyn. I was like, "Oh, we in the bedroom together?" But I guess it was like an office room. Because I was like, "Oh, Bronte, okay, we're doing this." But anyway, um, he gets summoned by Brooklyn to talk about like Chase and all of these things with Chase's relationship with Willow in this case. Same time, Chase is at Pentonville seeing Willow. Now,
Hmm.
how did you feel about the hand holding?
Okay, so I this is me giving my hot take early.
Please, I want it. I need the hot
So
take.
actually, this is a bit. Actually, I kind of need to wait because I felt like there's two parts to my hot take, and we haven't talked about the second part yet. But I felt it was a lot. He was doing a lot, and
Yeah.
before he has, when Willow has been over enthusiastic with her things, like she'll run up and hug him, and then he'll kind of gently put her to the side, or
Hmm.
he'll be like, I'm only here because of the case or something like that. But this time he didn't do that. And I
No,
was like,
he caressing her
ooh,
hand. What is
right.
this?
He was returning it. I was like, ooh.
Because I've been calling
So,
him Chase Porter, man. No more. You're in the
right.
doghouse.
And yeah, and then somebody had pointed out, was it Dante or somebody who said that he had been to see Willow three
Hmm.
times this week? So,
So
dude.
Willow is talking to, so this is like simultaneously happening. Willow is talking to Chase. He's also talking to Alexis. Alexis shows up. We find
Hmm.
out in this like time together that Chase is still investigating other suspects like outside of the PCPD on his own. So he is using, his own personal time supposedly to try to prove Willow innocent.
We also
Um,
find out, I don't know if you're going to say
no,
this.
please go ahead.
We also find out that he was instrumental in her getting bail because I guess Alexis had written to a judge. They were able to get a hearing, and Chase served as a character witness
Mm,
for Willow.
yeah.
That is a huge step outside of your duty as a policeman.
I mean, it's counter to it because
Yes.
basically Alexis's like whole case and her whole defense is different than what Drew wants to do. So Drew wants her to say, Willow didn't do it because Michael did it. That's what Drew wants her to say.
Yeah.
She is saying, I'm not trying to put everything on Michael. I'm trying to put the PCPD on trial to say that it could be all of these people, any of
Mm-hmm.
these people. And y'all have not like searched them and done your due diligence because you're so busy focusing on Willow.
Right.
It
Right.
also feels like Chase is trying to throw Michael under the bus. Chase does
Oh
not
yeah.
seem like he's trying to look at other options.
No.
He looks like he's solely focused on Michael. And
Mm-hmm.
so now we have Bronte, Brooklyn, and Dante at the house talking. I hated the conversation they were having that basically made it seem like they both of them were like suspecting Michael.
Mm-hmm.
And that, to your point, is when Dante tells her the PCPD monitors like the visitation of people who are in Pentonville under active, like, investigation or cases or
Education.
whatever. And so Chase has gone to see her 3 times. Same time, Chase comes up. I love Dante dropping that bomb and just being like, y'all can talk
All
about
right.
it.
I'll see you later.
So that happened. Um, I feel really deeply disgusted that they have defanged Brooklyn. And I
Mm-hmm.
say that because Brooklyn is like a very fiercely loyal character to her family. And I understand her loyalty to Chase and her love for Chase, but that should not erase the relationship that we know she has with Michael, the relationship that has been established that she has with Michael, going all the way back to Nell. When
Mm-hmm.
Nell came to their house, Brooklyn said, "You're a gold digger. What money you want? Get out. You ain't like." She always had Michael's back. When Michael came in and saw Dante going off on Brooklyn after they found out about Geo, Michael did not hesitate. He didn't know what they was talking about. He didn't know what was going on. He told Dante, who you feeling like? Watch your
Yeah,
mouth.
you're out of line.
You're out of line." So to have Brooklyn now be just like, oh, well, I just kind of don't want you to be the one to find out. No, Brooklyn, this man is playing in your face. This man is caressing the hand of his ex. This man is putting himself, his badge on the line in the same way that he did with Nell. And then has the audacity to say to her, oh, well, when Valentine did it to you, don't be comparing your last girl to me. You did what you did for me because I'm me and because we us.
Mm-hmm.
You compare me to this over here? Chase would have had to find somewhere to sleep that night.
Oh, definitely. At the very least, she should have been like, no, you can't continue to do this. Let the police do their job. I need you to stop this investigation. And I need you to stop spending time with Willow and not telling me about it.
Right. Yeah.
Like you go into the police station 3 times a week and I did not know about it. You deciding to go and do this investigation and you didn't tell me? Oh, hell no, sir. That's not, no.
No. No.
Right.
So then we have, I feel like I've said so a million times, but transition, segue. We have Brooklyn and Chase continuing to talk about it. I didn't like, and I continue to dislike, actually hate, the way they keep talking about Michael and Claudia. Because when
Hmm.
Brooklyn is like, Michael's not violent, Chase goes, well, Claudia would have something to say. First of all, Chase, you weren't even here. Let's
Mm.
start there. You were not here. You have no idea what happened. Second, why are we trying to reframe a story that's so like a signature Michael story that means so much to like him, to like us, the audience, for how we know and care about Michael? Why are we reframing the story from what it was? He did not get mad and hit Claudia. He was not like, "Oh, I can't believe you kidnapped my mom and my sister. I'm so mad." No, she was about to take them again.
Hmm.
She was about to take Jocelyn, and he had to stop her.
Hmm.
Like, didn't know if she had a weapon, didn't know anything. So this insinuation that Michael is like some sort of violent person because of Claudia is actually really offensive, particularly from Chase, because Chase, you didn't care too much about Claudia and what happened between Michael and Claudia before he took your wife. So now it's exacerbated by adultery.
Hmm.
No, you was fine with it before now. So now what? I, I, it's the wrong angst for Chase and
Hmm.
Brooklyn.
Hmm.
Let them fight it out about Willow. I'm not saying you have to break up Chase and Brooklyn. That's not what I'm saying. But they should be able, and Brooklyn deserves to have it out with him about how he's playing in her face.
Yeah. Yep.
Do you have anything up for that? I just got so mad about it.
No, I mean, you're right. I don't like how they keep bringing up his capability of violence as if it was premeditated. That's what they keep talking about it like his what happened was premeditated. They keep talking about the fact that he was raised under Sonny, that he's definitely capable or he's seen things. I'm like, yeah, but you wouldn't say the same thing about Christina right now. You just think we just all think Christina's flighty as hell, but we don't think that she's about to murder somebody. But she did. But still, she has actually in it more. She has murder in her heart more than Michael does, which is ironic.
Well,
But she's also the one who doesn't feel that Michael's guilty. She's the only one. Everybody else thinks he's definitely capable of doing it. And if he did it, we don't blame him. But no, she's the only one that is staunchly defending Michael and his innocence, which is why.
hmm
Um, but
yeah.
yeah, so it is irritating that they're doing that. But it's also ironic because they keep bringing up Michael's history, and now we're seeing it almost kind of repeat itself with what's happening with Rocco. So it's
hmm
pretty interesting um, how both of those stories are intertwined.
Yep.
Um, but yeah.
Yeah. Agreed. Agreed very much.
Hmm.
Um, we also now find out out of nowhere, because they didn't tell us, Willow is out on bail. First out of jail. Out on bail, first out of jail. Willow
Yeah.
scheming. Um, so we have Jacinda working with Nina. Nina is like talking like she's like, I'm gonna have my plan together and I'm gonna get this done. So she calls Michael into the office, tells Michael she wants to see the kids. She thought Michael was gonna tell her no. She thought she was gonna have to fight Michael.
No,
Michael was like, no, kids love you.
go ahead.
Go ahead. Go right ahead. And
Now, it's curious though. Do you think even at that point he knew what was going to happen?
I don't think he knew what was gonna happen, but I think he knew she'd be on mess.
Yeah.
And the thing that's so funny about it is she had full access to Wiley, not anybody with her. She could do whatever she wanted, and she chose to be trifling.
Yeah.
You were not trying to see your grandson. The first time we heard about you trying to see your grandkids, it was so you could be on some like scheming stuff. No, girl, this is absolutely not. So her plan was she's gonna take Wiley to where Jacinda and Michael were and do one of two things. Either Michael was going to make Jacinda mad by like pretending like she's nobody so that Wiley doesn't meet her, or she would like get evidence of like Michael being irresponsible by having his kid around Jacinda.
Hmm.
Michael clocks it immediately. I I laughed so much. He's like, oh, this is what you're trying to do. Nina, you're not slick. This is embarrassing. This is embarrassing. But Michael clocked you immediately. And Michael talking to Nina and saying, based on her history, she should have nothing to say about the autonomy of women's bodies. Gag number one.
Gag the
It
whole
was just like,
time.
no. And Darth Michael came through and was like, Nina, you need to leave. You're not going to see Wiley. And you're not coming back to this hotel. You can work from home. And you know how I'm going to make you work from home? Because my mama owns the hotel.
Hmm.
I said, that's how you Nepo baby, Michael. Michael, a
Got
quadruple Nepo baby.
right. And then the end, that was hilarious. Not only she's like, well, I'm going to record this, I'm going to catalog this. And he's like, okay, bet. Let's go and take a selfie. Kid. He's
He
like,
said,
Wiley,
Wiley,
Grandma wants to take a picture with us. And then Wiley was like, yeah, so they all take a family photo.
yo,
Like,
I gagged, gagged. Nina's face taking it.
like, oh, it was so funny. Because the funny thing is Nina thought she had a plan. She told Drew, she's like, yeah, we don't have to get rid of Jacinda. Michael will, because my plan is going to be foolproof.
And Michael said, let me tell you why you're wrong.
It was
So
hilarious.
funny,
It
so
was the best
good,
thing. It was
so
so
good.
good.
But Willow, um, fresh out of jail,
Fresh out of
shows
jail.
up. And here's the thing, Yuri, come to the front. I know you might be mourning Monica. You got one more time, or else you're fired. Because Willow basically said Willow said she called to the house.
Hmm.
Yuri told her where the kids were, or whatever.
Wiley was.
And Willow, knowing she's fresh out of jail, knowing about the court order, decides to show up. And the other thing is this: why would you need to call the house? Chase been telling you how them kids were. Chase bringing you pictures that the kids drew.
Right.
You just now being over the top, talking about where the kids at. It don't matter where the kids are. For you, not calling the house, just call Chase. Like, what are you talking about? This doesn't even make sense. So, and you know you're not succeeding. And the very first thing that you do when you're out of jail on bail is violate another court order.
Hmm.
Just be standing, looking in the distance, and then when Wiley see you, you're like, "Oh my God, Wiley saw me." Yeah, why would he not see you?
When she was
I,
stuck on stupid when she saw Michael with Jacinda, that's what she was. She was shocked. She was like,
right. And then going up to Jacinda and saying in front of Wiley, I I'm not used to seeing you with this many clothes on.
right. She was so out of pocket on everything she was saying in front of that child. So I was so happy that Michael gagged her too. I mean, not even just Michael, Jacinda did that too.
Yeah, she
They
did.
both stood up to her.
She did.
Um, yeah. She had no business talking like that in front of the child.
So Michael checks her. She's like, "You're going to jail. I know you framed me." Michael was like, "Whatever," bounces on her. Um, we also find that Drew knew that Willow had gotten out, but Willow didn't call him. Willow didn't go
Right.
see him. Willow didn't do anything. So Drew shows up to Alexis's office, like, where Willow at? And Alexis is like, how am I supposed to know? The guy's like, what are you talking about?
I ain't her keeper.
Yeah. And this is where, to your point that you previewed, Drew is telling Alexis, you have to make it so that Michael is the suspect. And he says that he's bringing Martin in as co-counsel so that Alexis can work on like Willow and Martin can work on the Michael piece of it.
Hmm.
And Alexis has put out there, yo, if you do that, you are hurting Willow's case. And he seems to not care.
Mm-mm.
Martin tells Alexis that she has a good plan, but she better make sure that plan works because if it doesn't, and Willow gets locked up and she went against Drew's wishes, that Drew would be on a warpath.
Yeah.
What a terrible man.
He is terrible.
Um, Black Hospital, let's talk a little bit about that. So more people know that Portia's pregnant. Aunt Stella calls Curtis up and is like, I see Portia drinking a lot of tea. Why haven't I gotten the tea?
Right.
And, he also tells Aunt Stella that they're going to get divorced. And I saw people really mad. And I was talking about this with Tara from Port Misery. People were really
Hmm.
mad about Aunt Stella's reaction. And I was like, this feels like an average Black auntie reaction to me.
Right. It does. Because most aunties are gonna want the family to stay together. And it's always been the only thing I'm mad about it is like both her and Hat Daddy are like, you need to stay married to Portia, or you need to do what's best for your child. Again, like we talked about last week, ain't nobody thinking about Portia and what she wants as the
Hmm.
mother of the child. Everybody's just like, this is your child, this is what you need to do to be a good dad.
Right,
That's all that's important.
right. Hmm.
So, but it doesn't
Yeah.
surprise me that she had that tact or had daddy had the same feelings.
No, it makes perfect
Yeah.
sense to me that this, and I think that it also is one of those things. I mean, Grant, I'm not saying I think that Portia and Curtis should be done. I'm just saying that, like, yo, auntie, of course she's gonna say, "How can you work it out?" And
Right.
she happened to say therapy is in the church because we're a little bit more removed, you know, on GH. And I
Yeah.
and for me, I look at it like Portia and Curtis were constantly around Stella, and Stella did not note problems. And so if
Hmm.
I'm always with you and I don't know that y'all have problems, and then all of a sudden you're telling me you're getting divorced, I'm gonna say, wait, can't you work it out? Because it didn't seem
Right.
like y'all had an issue. Clearly, y'all was okay a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
So I'm not mad at, I mean, I don't agree with Stella. I don't,
Hmm.
obviously, but I'm not mad at Stella. It made sense
No,
to me.
no.
Portia comes to the art gallery with Sidwell and Marco.
Jordan. Jordan comes to
Sorry,
the car. Yeah.
Jordan. Yes, yes,
Hmm.
there you go. Comes to the art gallery with Sidwell and Marco. And she needs some more, art for her East African warlord funded apartment. She has Trina send her uh, to take her around to look at different pieces, and Trina goes in.
Goes
How did
in.
you feel?
I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Just because she basically said everything that everybody else has been saying. She's like, I clocked you from the beginning, no matter what. And, Jordan was like, it's not my fault they're getting divorced. It's Portia. And she was like, you need to keep my mama's name out your mouth. This is about you and what you've really been doing. And she's like, I'm not gonna let you get near my dad again. She's
Hmm.
like, it's the last thing I do. It's let you guys get
Hmm.
back together. And so, yeah, I liked it. I mean, we both have feelings about Trina being in this story and not having her own story, all that. But, you know, yeah, she's an adult and really shouldn't like necessarily be all up in her parents' business. But I liked it because Jordan
Hmm.
deserved that. And everybody else is just like excusing Jordan's behavior. And it's not cool.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Hmm. I like several things that happened. I
Yeah.
liked when Trina was talking to Ava and she acknowledged, yo, I don't even know why I'm so upset. I didn't grow up with this like being my family unit. I think
Right.
a lot of us were saying that, and so it was important to like for Trina to acknowledge that it's irrational. Because I'm not mad at you for
Hmm.
having irrational feelings. I'm mad that nobody is saying it's irrational. And so she said
Right.
it, and I liked that.
Right.
Um, I like that we got some fiery Trina. Trina ate Jordan up.
Hmm.
I appreciated it, and I think for me, I'm always people talk about. I've seen people talk about. Well, Portia did this to Jordan. I get it. Portia inserted herself into their marriage. She was there. I still blame Curtis, but I get people being like, "What goes around comes around." The difference for me personally is that Portia was not trying to be Jordan's friend. She was not inserting herself in Jordan's family affairs. Jordan has been to their house. Jordan showed up as if she was not a problem for Jordan and Curtis to then turn around and be like, oh, it's always been you.
Hmm.
You've been playing in my face. You've been playing in my daughter's face. You've been playing in my family's face. You wasted my time. And you remember when Mariah Carey sued that man for wasting her time? Sis, Portia, go sue Curtis for wasting your time because he wasted
Oh
your time
yeah.
the whole time. He said when they were breaking up that he ain't trusted you since he found
From
out
the
about
beginning.
Trina.
Hmm.
That was the day y'all got married. That's been years. And you ain't
Yeah.
trusted me since then. So why are we here? You should have went back to Jordan then.
Hmm.
I'm not trying to hear it. I continue to find Curtis a vapid character. And I think building a whole show, a whole portion of the show around a man whose full personality is I want people not to lie to me, it was a mistake.
That's Billy off a person who doesn't want people to lie to him, but he's okay to lying to them.
Talk about it.
Not only has he lied to Portia and said that, he trusts her again and their marriage can work, even though he didn't trust her. I don't keep bringing it up. He's lied to her about his business dealings.
Yeah.
Nobody still knows what he's been doing with the mob. He
Hmm.
lies to her about, a lot of stuff and he expects loyalty.
And
And
tried to
it's just
gaslight
ridiculous.
her and
Right.
tried to gaslight her like she was wrong for worrying about his relationship with Jordan. When you sat up in Jordan's face and said it's always been you, and you have not acknowledged, like, damn, you know what? Now that I'm thinking about it, Jordan was salty about us and she was right. You're not
Hmm.
acknowledging that. It's only about what Jordan has done to you. And so now when this comes out, when the pregnancy thing comes out, it's gonna then be on Jordan because you um and it's gonna be now on Portia because you and Jordan haven't slept together. Y'all have been having an emotional affair for months.
Hmm.
And the other thing I liked about what Trina said, because Jordan was like, "Oh well, you must have heard this from your mother, and your mother had no right to like no business telling you this." And I love Trina being like, "Watch how you speak on my mother,"
Right.
because I feel that same way. I might be mad at my mama. I'm not right now, but I might be mad at my mom. But you say one wrong thing, we got plenty of problems. Watch how you speak about my mama.
Right.
Don't do that. Don't do
It's
that.
just hilarious how she's like Portia has no right to tell Trina something, but yeah, you have every right to tell everybody that Portia's pregnant.
And acting
It
as if
don't fit.
things exactly. And acting as if things like exist in a vacuum. Like it's just because Portia lied and therefore Curtis is now like, oh, this happened and now this happened. As if it was like sequential and not happening at the same time. As if
Right.
your presence like was not a fallback for him. They're not even broken up, like, of course, your relationship with him had something to do with this. I don't want to hear from both of these people that they didn't do anything wrong when they did. Yes, Portia had a physical affair, but for all intents and purposes, everything was over. She said, "If you leave this room, we're done." He left the room,
Mm-hmm.
they were done. So
Yep.
for all intents and purposes, I don't even consider that cheating because she already told you this is over. You have been having an emotional affair in the same way Chase has been having an emotional affair for months.
Mm.
So just because y'all haven't slept together does not make you some sort of superior to Portia. It doesn't. And I know when everything comes out, that's going to be the story they try to tell. But you will not get me. I wish I could insert. I wish I had skills. So I would insert that video. You cannot fool me. Video right here. No, no. Mm-mm.
Ah,
So shout out to Trina. Appreciated it. Tabiana ate that up.
yep.
Loved it. We also have okay, Isaiah. You pretty, but you dumb. Look, Isaiah. You come to the front. Come to the front, Isaiah. What's wrong with you? So Felicia comes to Portia and is like, hey, just doing some poking around for Willow's attorney. And she wanted to know about if you saw Willow on the night and da 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 da. Da. And Portia then says that she was on call. Now, I will say that this seems to verify Portia's alibi because I was kind of confused about whether or not Portia had went to like possibly go murder and then get back in bed with Isaiah, which go off queen would have loved that for you. But
Hmm.
I think that her actual alibi is Isaiah. That's where she was with the whole night. She went and had the
Yeah.
drink with Nina, and when Nina went home, Portia went
To
to
Isaiah.
Isaiah.
Because she
Um,
already had a key, even though they
yeah.
only had sex once. But whatever.
Listen, when you put it down like that, I get love it for my
Kids
girl.
change.
Love it for my girl. Um, Isaiah can't wait to give Portia a key every time.
Mhm. I
Oh,
guess it really
so
doesn't take much for dudes.
dun, 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 dun. So, um,
Did you just say I'm
yes.
Oh yeah.
So Felicia like goes uses her password because I said, "Oh, Felicia, we shady." Uses her
Mhm.
own information to like log into the system and see that Portia wasn't there. Isaiah is like, "Should we go turn ourselves in? Should we go talk to Willow's lawyer?" Portia said,
Sir.
"For what?" Portia said, "Listen, I don't know if you know this about me, but I do be lying." Now, me and Portia, I'm okay with that. I'm okay. I support her rights and wrongs. But Portia was like, I don't know if you know about me, but I do be lying, and we gonna lie about this.
First of all, we don't want anyone to know that we're having an affair, sir, because I'm your boss.
Come on.
Remember? Hello. Crazy.
Hello. Just, uh, my goodness. Yeah, Isaiah, you pretty, but you dumb. That was dumb. That was dumb. But
Right.
I'm imagining that this is gonna be how the pregnancy news like comes out and like the paternity drama comes out. Because the
Hmm.
reality is Portia has an alibi. The person who does not have an alibi is Curtis.
Right. Right.
So yeah. Because even when he was trying to leave, Portia, he's like, well, maybe we stay together. Portia was like, I mean, look, if you got something to, I'll say for you, but I'm good.
Hmm.
Mm. Love that for her. Um, moving on. Let's talk about the young adult trio that is Rocco, Charlotte, Danny. Oh, our sweet babies. So
Hmm.
Ned has his heart attack. Gio and Emma are like, we're calling the whole thing off. We need to take care of Ned. But through all of this, the trio gets a hold of Brit's key fob. And so they decide, take it upon themselves, they are going to break into the lab themselves. The lab is at PCU, and the mayoral debate is also at PCU. So Charlotte and Rocco out here committing B&Es while their grandma out here talking about why she should be mayor. And all I can think is, you know who would never? Spencer. Because Spencer will be figuring out a way to steal the election from his grandmother.
Hmm.
Spencer will be
He,
rigging the
and you know,
vote.
he may have gone through whatever shenanigans, but he will go through that same amount of shenanigans to make sure Laura wins.
Yes, Spencer will be rigging the vote, not costing the vote.
Right.
So, I still can't stop thinking about him rigging the vote and nothing happening to him. But Laura's like, okay, well, I guess I'm just mayor, and we ain't had an election since. Like, shout out to the little legend. But anyway,
Somebody knew. Who was it? Valentine. Valentine knew,
of
and
course
she
it
tried
is.
to keep it a secret.
Of course it is. So they decide to go into the lab. I cracked up when the boys couldn't use the key fob, and then Charlotte could. And she looked at them like, are you stupid or are you dumb? Basically, she looked at them the way I looked at Isaiah. So they go into the lab. Also, the hijinks ensue. I cracked up when they was like looking at the paper. He was like, maybe it's upside down. And they were like, I read it doesn't matter. I can't read it anyway. And
I'm
they get
like,
busted.
there's no animals in here. What are we doing?
Yeah,
It's
and that turns out they're not animal testing on PCU campus like you thought, which embarrassing.
right. And
And
they get
I
caught.
always forget his name. I'm just always like Kane from YNR. What's his name? Dalton. Professor Dalton.
Dalton. Yeah.
Professor Dalton walks in. Um, Rocco realizing that they could all get caught, sacrifices himself, throws something. He only gets caught. Dalton hems him up, takes him to the police at the mayoral debate.
Manhandles him.
Manhandles him.
Manhandles him,
And
basically.
Laura checks him, like, get your hands off my grandson, which apparently sent that little man spiraling.
Hmm. Yeah, it was funny because Dalton was singularly so upset by that encounter of Laura checking him, saying, one, you're not arresting my grandson. Two, get your hands off of my grandson. Stop,
Right.
manhandling and insulting him. This is not going to happen today. He was like super mad about that. Just that one
Hmm.
thing, like the gall of the mayor thwarting him and being able to be a bully to this teenager.
Right.
So, right. So,
How dare you?
right. And we're gonna see the consequences of that in the following storylines. But yeah.
Yeah. So, you know, everybody wants to confess who wasn't there. Charlotte, Danny, like, Alexis was like, listen, Rocco is not related to us, okay? You're not going to be telling. We're not doing that today. Let's get
Oh,
that
well, we have to
straight.
back up. We have to back up. Danny
Okay,
runs immediately to Jason, tells
sure.
Jason what happened. And Jason was like, nah, let's go to Alexis, talk to a lawyer.
Right.
And Alexis was like, yeah, no, you're not admitting
Yes. I
to
also love Jason being like, you have to honor Danny's sacrifice, or you have to honor Rocco's
Rocco
sacrifice.
sacrifice. He did all this for you. How disrespectful of you trying to take the shine away from him.
Right.
No.
Now, mob shenanigans, even prior to this, I don't know. Did you think that thing with the DA was like set up so the DA like apparently her car breaks down like a half a mile or a mile away from Sunny's house, and she walks there and breaks her heel. I love Lil Donna being like, "Girl, you a mess.
Right.
Like, you need to wash your face."
Just like, you need to come in and let us take care of you. And Sunny, so basically, yeah, she finds herself stranded, goes to Sunny's house, and was like, I need your help. And Sunny's like, well, I own a tow truck business.
Sleep a
And
fleet.
a fleet. And Donna was like, yes, he does. I'm like, girl.
It was like, I know all of them. My dad's legal businesses, baby. He fixing
So,
shoes.
right.
He
And
not selling. He's selling legit purses, not stolen purses.
so I don't know if that was like something that she planned or if it just, I think I definitely actually, I think it's something that she planned. Because how you just gonna randomly be near Sonny's house and your car breaks down and you walk through
Well,
rain, sleet, and snow just so you can go to his house instead of just calling AAA? Well, no,
it's
she broke her phone.
yeah. But the thing about it is, this city is not that big. So if you could walk the half a mile to Sunny's house, I know you could walk the half a mile back to wherever you was at.
Right.
Oh,
You can
okay,
walk
girl.
half a mile to downtown.
Okay, girl.
Right.
But anyway, um, Geo goes to see Grandpa Sunny,
Mhm.
and Sunny is just like, "Listen, you and Emma are adults. Y'all can't be turning yourselves in."
You're gonna have a worse, you guys are gonna have a worse sentencing situation than Rocco will. So, keep it tight, zip
And
it.
then my highlight, aside from Trina reading Jordan, because that was my actual highlight, but my
Right.
other highlight was Rick going back to Sunny. Like,
Yes.
I'm trying to come home, brother.
Mm. I like that. I like the idea of Rick and Sunny having scenes together.
So
Um, I mean, like a lot of people, I couldn't quite tell whether or not to trust Rick in that,
no,
whether he was sincere. But at
no,
the same time, I'm really curious on what he's up to and how, because I think he's really trying to get back at Alexis in some way, shape, or form,
and Christina.
and Christina, and even possibly Ava. But we'll see how it turns out. But at the very least, I do think he's sincere in wanting to get Rocco out of the mess. So even though I thought it was interesting that, Sunny said over and over, I don't trust you. You've done nothing but harm. Actually tried to forgive you before and you screwed me over then. Why should I trust you now? But it was relatively
Hmm.
easy for Rick to get him or at least give him a trial. And so that's how Rick ends up being Rocco's lawyer.
Right. Loved it. Love
Mm.
Rick
Yeah.
being Rocco's lawyer. So
Yep.
Rick sets it up with the DA and is like, "We got this." They come to community service. Can
Okay.
I tell you what cracked me up? Britt going to Sidwell and is like, "You gotta help my son." And Sidwell was like, "You ain't got a son."
What was that? Oh
So
yeah,
like,
he's not your son.
he was like, "You don't have a son."
What are you talking about?
I loved it because I've been saying the same thing. Yes, Sidwell, she ain't got no son. What is she talking about? But Sidwell tries to tell Dalton, yo, we don't need the smoke. We don't need the
The
uh-uh,
attention.
uh-uh. Let's not do that. And dude goes right to the DA and is like, actually,
hmm No, he had the gall. He had the gall to be like, I don't care what you say. I'm going to prosecute this person. I'm going to prosecute Rocco and the
right,
mayor for doing this to me. So, and my hot take was after that conversation, I was like, oh, so Dalton's going to die. That was my first thought. Because the way Sid Will looked at him was like, I know you ain't trying to tell me what to do. And I was surprised he let Dalton walk away from that.
right.
But
I was like, oh, he finna get you.
that was my first thought was like, oh, he's going to die. He's going to be the next mystery body in the ocean.
Get him.
But
And then they go like what frame Sunny for it? I don't know.
yeah,
And so eh, they have court. Everybody's going, feeling good. Court's gonna be
uh-huh,
good. Britt's there. You know, Laura comes. Apparently now, Dante is the commissioner.
uh-huh,
Okay.
right,
Which we find out it's because Mac is going back and forth to see Maxie too much, so he's not gonna do it, which makes it's fair.
uh-huh,
Um, yeah, just the whole family, Sunny, uh, Lulu, all of it. Um, AI Nathan back on the force.
yeah,
So AI Nathan's at the court hearing as well. Everything looks like it's gonna go well. And then we find out, oh no, baby, it's a bigger charge, and our Rocco gets remanded to custody.
mm,
I
it was
was
so
upset.
sad.
I was
Yes.
upset.
I was so sad, especially at the end when he was like, "Mom, Dad, I really didn't do this. I'm sorry." I was like, oh.
Our baby, get him out. Free him,
Right.
free Rocco. I was
Yes.
and I loved Sonny yelling at the DA. Like, why would you betray my grandson?
Yes.
I said, Donna go find out and you ain't never getting no more cookies.
No more
Now
cookies for
what?
you.
No more cookies for you?
Yes.
I mean, I'd be remiss to not say, I mean, you alluded to this as well. The not parallels in terms of like what got them there, but the parallels in terms of situation of the courts coming down really, really harshly on
Yeah.
a kid in front of Lulu and Dante.
Right.
It made me wonder if we're gonna see Dante give up the badge.
Yeah. I don't know. I didn't even think about that, but I was thinking it just seems like the court system in Port Charles is tired of Sunny shenanigans. Sunny is
Mhm.
not in jail, but anybody that comes from Sunny's family in this courtroom, they they are in it. That's just it. They are like, we're done. We're gonna prosecute this person to the fullest extent of the law. We're gonna make up a law.
Yeah,
We're gonna make
word,
up something to make him guilty. So I mean, just the unnecessariness of holding a juvenile until bail, like
right.
he committed murder. He did not do
Meanwhile,
that.
Willow's on the street after committing
Right,
like after being on trial for like attempted murder of a congressman.
right. It's so crazy to me.
But yeah,
Um,
so he apparently smashed his own lab up. Dalton did. Laura recognizes right away that he's being framed, and notes that if it was really true, if Rocco really like trashed this lab, then he would have said that right away. He would
right
have said,
away.
yeah.
Yeah.
So we will see what happens. Yeah, we will see what happens. But a lot is going on in that family. Olivia, her husband holding on by a thread, and now her grandson in jail. It's too much. Hope we get some
Too.
telenovela Olivia next week. I need her acting a fool. I need her with some rosary. Like I need her acting. I need telenovela Olivia next week.
Oh man, because yeah, she's got not only Ned to worry about, but now Rocco is in some kind of jail. It's gonna be a very much emotional week for Olivia.
Yep,
Oh, the drama.
yep. There you go.
hmm
I am looking what else up. Oh, Lucas.
Oh my goodness.
So Lucas comes to see Carly and tells her that he's moving out of Ava's and moving with Marco. And Carly at first was like hesitant, like, hey, well, if you need help, like finding a place to rent, and he was like, oh no, don't you worry about that. I already have a place. I'm moving in to Windermere. And Carly just goes off on him.
Loses her shit, basically, which is understandable
Yeah.
because he had basically lost his shit to her over Sunny. But the
Hmm.
funny thing is, he still throws it back in her face, like, "How dare you tell me what to do when you've been with Sunny?" I'm like, "Sir, do you not even hear yourself? So you're yelling at her for being with Sunny, but that you want to put yourself in the mob den. You're wild for that." So I'm just like, Lucas is so crazy to me. And the fact that is because not only because what we know of Marco, but he's just wild and thinking that he could just get away with being so close to somebody that is so dangerous and not find himself hypocritical in judging Carly. And then, like I
Hmm.
said last week, why would you want to live with your father-in-law? Well,
You're a
you're in the
doctor.
beginning. Yeah, you're
Yeah.
in the beginning of a relationship where you're at this point in most relationships, it's all about having sex as much as possible. And you're gonna run into your dad
I
in
think they're
law.
fine. It's a castle. I think he's okay with
It is a
that.
castle, but
But
just being in the proximity is just enough for me. No.
I would I would say Marco or Lucas sounds like an idiot. An
Yeah.
idiot. A complete idiot. But he's a fool in love, and we've seen Nicholas Lucas sound like an
Lucas.
idiot before.
Uh-huh.
What disappointed me was Jocelyn.
Oh yeah, totally. She's full in on being the spy and doing her job. And she had the gall to be upset with Carly when Carly was like, "I'm disappointed in you." And she was like, "Man,
So here's my thing with Jocelyn. Now y'all know I've always stood up for my girl. However, this story is making Jocelyn very unlikable and for no reason. The
mhm,
WSB story is not good. She never got a real like a real motivation. Like the motivation was Dex, but then she starts sleeping with Timu Dex, whatever. Then she tells Timu Dex that like the motivation is that she wants to get her family away from Sunny. So, Jocelyn, you want to get your family away from Sunny. You want to protect your family. Let's talk about two separate things. One, so you care about your family so much, but you are encouraging Lucas to move into Windermere. That has nothing to do with whether or not you're going to be charged with treason. You will be charged with treason for telling someone. That does not mean you have to do a good job. That does
right,
not mean you have to encourage the mess. It doesn't.
right,
That's something that you're doing. So that's first. Second, you care about your family so much, you should be asking the WSB to do what it needs to do to help Michael not get charged with this murder or this attempted murder. And I haven't seen you talk about that at all. But you're telling me that you joined the WSB to like take down Sunny when even Charlotte understood that Pikeman ain't nobody,
right,
that her dad was locked up, and yeah, maybe her dad was wrong for some things, but you got Pikeman out here running free, laid up with Carly because he happens to be a different kind of wrong. So even if
hmm
little Charlotte can understand that, why do you think that you're gonna like ascend so high into the WSB and the WSB has any care or concern about what the local mob boss is doing? What are you talking about?
right. If the WSB cared about what Sunny's doing, he would have been arrested a long time ago without her.
Yeah,
Why do they need her to bring Sunny down?
yeah,
They do not, and they don't care.
yeah. I'm just not a fan.
Right.
So they need to figure this out. I hate the story. I hate that it like isolates Jocelyn even more because I love the kind of young adult trio, but the fact that this is a story that was like adult, and I'm glad that Emma and Gio both recognized that as adults you should have never brought the kids into it. That was a mess.
hmm
But at the same time, why is that what's happening? Why is that what you're doing? When right there. we have Trina, we have Kai, we have Jocelyn. Like that is your peer group. I liked the brother bond. I loved the hug that we had before court between Rocco and Gio, their brother
Hmm.
bond growing. I really adore that. I think that in addition to like romance, which we'll talk about, like the family bonds are what makes a show. This is not it.
Right. Yeah.
So I know we missed stuff, but that's all I got. Uh, before we go into like structured hot takes, do you have any other hot takes?
Mm, let's see. Oh yeah. So I wrote on Monday. Now, before Felicia comes into Portia's office to talk about investigation, Portia and Isaiah are in the office talking about a surgery. I felt that in that scene, they were being very flirtatious with
Hmm.
one another. So I
Hmm.
wrote, Portia and Isaiah are definitely eye flirting while talking about a surgery, and I enjoyed it.
It's
Then
giving
I
Grey's
wrote
Anatomy.
and then the second thing I wrote was Willow was hand flirting with Chase, and I did not enjoy that.
Mm,
Those are my two thoughts. Second, I wrote, shout out to Donna, lady of the Corintho house. She not only
word.
welcomed, the lawyer in, she's like, let me get you this, let me get you that. I'm going to serve you some cookies. I know my dad can help you with this. This is what's happening. She was basically Sunny's little housewife. Just loved it. She's so adorable.
He was so funny.
Okay.
But yes,
Yeah,
little
so
lady of the manor, Donna.
she's the best. I love it.
I'm
Those are
sad. I don't know how much longer we're gonna have her. 'Cause, she's gonna be in Wicked soon. My little baby Galinda.
no, no. I hope she's with us for a while, but
Yeah,
we gotta let her fly because she's gonna be amazing. So
exactly. Yeah, for sure.
yeah, those are essentially my hot takes.
Cool, cool, cool. So let's talk about two things. One, I know that you haven't watched it yet, so I want you to watch it. I was thinking about reacting to it, but I watched it anyway, already. But it was the Jeannie Francis and Mo State of Mind. So I won't
Hmm.
get into too many details. I'll just say they clearly have like a really touching relationship. Mo was so comfortable. They was cussing. I was like, oh my God. It's like, oh my goodness, I forgot. Um,
I think the only thing I'll be shocked at is hearing Jeannie Francis do it because I've listened to a couple of Mo's podcasts. I actually
yeah, yeah,
listened
yeah.
to the one that he had with Lisa Cicero and
Mhm.
Dominic Zamprogna, and they were cursing all of it. They were talking about
Yeah.
some wild stuff. So
Yeah, yeah, and Dom loves the cuss. So,
yeah.
um, but Jeannie, I was like, oh my God, Laura. Um, but something they said, I just want to like hear what you think about. They were talking about how there's like a lack of couples on the show.
Hmm.
And Jeannie did ask, like, what do you think? Like, it's because of intimacy around COVID, and like they kind of they touched on it briefly, but they did say like we need to get back to like couples and romance. I just want to hear like I have thoughts, but I want to hear what you think about that.
It can't be about COVID because Anna and Valentine
That's
has
true.
some really, really sexy scenes.
Hmm.
And there was like no holding back. And so did Jocelyn. Jocelyn got down with the get down.
Hmm.
COVID didn't matter. So
Right.
it can't be that. I think a lot of the potential couples are still just in the potential phase in
Hmm.
terms of the adults, right? We we assumed that as soon as Lulu got back in town that she and Dante were gonna get back together. But they slowed that down a lot. And now we're kind of thinking, well, they're gonna break up Brooklyn and Chase, and then Brooklyn's gonna be with Dante or something like that.
Right,
But
right.
anyway, nothing is really solidified yet.
Hmm.
So there's that. I don't know why. I mean, Sunny is doing a very slow burn when it comes to the DA. I think he
Hmm.
probably would have had her in bed already if back
Yeah.
in the day. Um, and then, um, Carly is now in the outs with um, Brennan, so she's definitely not going to be sleeping with him anytime soon. So
Or she
potential couples
might.
are, she might, yeah, but potential couples are gone. Willow and Drew, we don't know if Willow is actually still in love with them or she's just doing it for convenience. I think what the next person we might see in the sheets is Michael and Jacinda.
Mhm.
We'll see. But that's the closest relationship I actually see happening anytime soon, other than the kids. And we're not going to
But
see the
like,
kids in anything.
but like for me, I don't even
Yeah.
think. I mean, I don't even think of it as needing to be like sex scenes. I mean,
Right.
like like there's not couples. I've talked about this before, but like I started watching ABC soaps with all my children, so that was like my first of the like
Uh-huh.
all the ABC shows, and to me that was a soap couple show.
Right.
Like the people were in couples and that was the story. People were not in couples and they were like there was I'm thinking like I loved Leo and Greenlee.
Mm-hmm.
They spent a lot of time building them up. We spent a lot of time like just like them being in a couple with each other was the story. I think the last time that we had something similar to that on this show was what they tried to do with Sprina, but I don't think that was successful because I think they told a really piss poor story for them that was like sometimes kind of offensive. Like I just think like and that has nothing to do with Tabiana and Nicholas. It has everything to do with like the way they chose to like tell a story. I remember being frustrated, and I think they've actually learned a little bit of lessons with what they're doing with Gemma, with Gio and Emma, that they didn't allow Sprina to progress naturally because they wanted everything to be a milestone for them. So like they couldn't just kiss or hold hands or whatever it was because oh that needed to be on the cover of a magazine, that needs to be this, that needs to be that. And when you do that to a couple, you put too much pressure on them and you don't allow them to naturally progress in a way outside of like sweeps or an event or something like that. So we had all these like near like kisses. Like, why was this show so chaste that we had like near kisses? No, that's silly. So I like that was the last couple that we got that kind of story for. Everybody else's story, like when there were couples, they're being put together. With Carly and Brennan, they've always had an expiration date. It's always been okay, they're together now, but then whenever she finds out about this other thing, they're gonna be done. We just
Mm-hmm.
don't have the couples that are not that. We don't have it to me, and I'm not even saying that I needed this, but I'm saying that we were in a place where we had Sam and Jason, we had Carly and Sunny. These are old school couples. Why were they not together? Why, like, y'all could have kept Sam, put her back with Jason. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying I want this. That's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying that
Mm-hmm.
this is like when you think of like the blueprint that soaps lay out. You would have had Lante get back together, let that be angst for Sante. Then that would have
Mm-hmm.
led back to J Sam. You would have had for some reason Carson getting back together, like we don't ever see Laura and Kevin. I know Kevin's out here playing in Atlanta, being a villain on Beyond the Gates, but like there's nothing there. Like Nina doesn't have a man. Um, there was never anything for real between Ava and Rick. And then if you try to put Rick and Liz together, which I like Lyric, but if you try to put them together, we know they have an expiration date. Like they just don't invest in telling couple stories. And I think
Yeah.
about the fact that like that I loved J Sam. J Sam was a couple story. It was told as a story about this couple and building out this couple. We don't have that anymore, and it actually I think hurts the show. Willow
Mm-hmm.
and Drew, never a couple that they were anybody's rooting for. I do wonder if they thought it was going to be something different, and we can talk about that with the Cameron piece. But Willow and Drew never was something that was rootable.
Mm-hmm.
So like you broke up you broke up Willow, you broke up even thinking back, you broke up like Chase and Willow and Michael and Sasha to like tell this other story. you just like, where are the couples? That's a lot of
Right.
rambling for me to say. Where are the couples? Where are the stories about couples? When I started watching, we had Nicholas and Emily. We had, you know what I mean? Like, where are the actual love stories to be invested in? And we just aren't saying that.
Yeah, I mean, oh, I forgot about Molly and Cody because that's another relationship they broke up for a plot, TJ and Molly. And now
Yeah.
Molly's just hanging out, falling in
Yeah.
love with a cowboy who doesn't know where he's here or there. So
Yeah.
it's just like,
And if
yeah,
we're gonna do Molly and Cody, let's do it. We see them once a week.
right. There's
So
definitely a
if that's
story there, especially with her writing a novel. I can definitely
yeah,
see a cool story coming out of her writing what she wants to happen and then Cody actually stepping up to the plate and being that hero for her. That's a story.
it
But they haven't
actually
gone there yet.
I think that Cody went down, or the actor that went down to recurring. Um,
Uh-huh.
they should just be together right now, and Molly
Right.
should be writing the story based on that. That
Right.
like quit playing like the time that we see them should be them being in a couple, and then with his schedule and him not being there, that should be when we see Molly doing other things.
Yeah.
Like just do the story. We actually don't need to play around. I don't care about Lante. I've never cared about Lante. Don't like Lante. Have never, would never. Put them together. Just do it. What are we doing?
Right.
Because the
That's a-
other thing
yeah.
is, y'all didn't even have Lante, either of them, the Dante part or the Lulu part, recognize the anniversary of Sam's death. You didn't have
Mm-hmm.
Rocco, nothing.
Mm-hmm.
So okay, here we are. Why are we playing? Just do it.
Yep.
And stop making Britt so unlikable that I don't want her with Jason. Because
Exactly.
I'm pretty neutral on Brit and Jason. Like I don't like it, but I don't hate it.
There's nothing romantic about it. Every other
No.
scene that they have is her yelling at him or her, using him and or just being overly critical and mean and him just trying to be like, I'm trying to help you. That's not romantic. I for that's rule number one is men like to feel like they're helping you and needing you. That's what makes them feel important and needed. And you're not doing that. So I mean, just like what's going on? It's not even like trope romantic. It's just like, I'm tired of looking at you right now. If I was Jason, I'd be like, mm, let me go after Liz because Liz at least worships the ground I walk on. You know, that might not ever happen, but it's just like there's nothing about Britt right now that makes her even, romantic or attractive to me. I'm not seeing it. I mean, I like her, the character, but she's like, if she's actually in love with Jason, act like it.
And like write her something. Like, because right now what we have is like Jason babysitting her.
Right.
There's nothing that's rootable about the two of them together. And people love the character of Jason. And if you're gonna have Jason with somebody that's not Sam, that's not Elizabeth, they actually or not Carly, like people
Right.
want them to be like in a rootable couple. I've said this many
Yeah.
times. I'll say it again. So sorry, people who keep hearing me say it. The character that Britt was when she left the show is not the
Was
character that
different.
she is now. The
Yeah.
characters that people wanted her to come back as. I remember
Hmm.
being at that fan event and Kelly Thibault had one of like the biggest standing ovations and the big like people were excited for her. It was like either right before she aired or right when she was airing.
Hmm.
Then or like starting to air. It's because not because of who Britt was in 2013. It's about who Britt was when she died. It was like about who Britt was that was able to throw a big birthday party that everybody came to and who grew up and who did all of these things. Now, granted, I understand that that is the Brit that was like needed for the show at that time. And now that the show's a little bit messier, you want a messier Brit. But you got to understand that's not who people wanted back. That's not who people were rooting for. So you have this version of Brit back and there's not an understanding of why Jason would like be encouraging her to be around Rocco, why Jason would care about her. She
Hmm.
is belligerent. She is like rude, she is messy, and she clearly is shady. So what are we rooting for here?
Oh.
Well, anyway, you have anything else about that?
No, I largely agree, and I can't wait to actually hear it myself when I listen to the podcast later.
Yeah, yeah. Um, the last thing I want to talk about is Cameron Matheson, not Drew, Cameron. So Cameron Matheson posted up this like video where he was FaceTiming his daughter. I was I believe her name is Layla.
Mhm.
And Layla, he said, so this is what he wrote. He wrote, Layla FaceTimed me after watching a YouTube compilation of some of my character Drew Kane's darker scenes on General Hospital. At first, she was troubled by how despicable my character was, but then after reading the comments with so much hate and aggression towards me, she needed to FaceTime and talk it out. He went on to say, just posting this as a gentle reminder that when we make comments on social media, these people have kids and families and friends and are real people. Remember, everyone, it's just a character and I'm just doing a job. I love my job and I'm grateful for all the support. I've got through the years, believe me. But maybe this post will help keep in mind that there's other things to consider. Other people hopped in, says they loved him. I know that I've heard like Rory, Maurice, Steve Burden, Laura Wright, like all these people like just affirm Katie, affirm how positive and good of a person Cameron is. I can't say I don't care if people are good people, but in the grand scheme of things, you know what I mean? Like we don't know them. But I it just struck me because I like am now seeing some of the social media conversation around this, and it's blowing my mind a little bit. Like, if I'm being completely honest with you, I think you haven't seen it yet, but people are like essentially fighting for their right to be rude to this man. Yeah, it's just
Why?
your face is so you're like what? Yeah, look, the internet's a weird place, but here's what I definitely want to say. People were rude to Cameron Matheson. Like, we gotta just be honest. Like, one of the things I think my own personal neuro spiciness is I can't handle when people try to gaslight me or lie to me. I don't care about things like whatever you want to say and do, but don't lie to me and tell me you weren't doing it. People were rude to Cameron Matheson before Drew became evil. People
Mm.
been mad at Cameron Matheson since the moment he took this role. When people found out Cameron Matheson was coming on as Drew Kane, people were mad. People have talked about this man, his looks, his acting. They've talked about like his personal life. I remember people being rude about him and his wife splitting up and saying whatever about it. I remember people saying they didn't care about his house burning down. Like these are things that happened.
Wow.
Like, I'm
Wow.
not saying it's overwhelming. I'm not saying it's everybody, but I'm saying that I have personally, with my two eyes, or four eyes, if you will, see my glasses, like seen these things. So,
Wow.
like, to pretend as if he doesn't like have a right to like speak up. Also, to also be clear, he did not put out a press release. He put this on his own personal social media, and then press and soap press picked it up because what's there to talk
Yeah.
about? So, I mean, really, right? Like this, like
Yeah.
you are on social media just like we are, and so they see things they report it out. It happens with all press. It happens with music press. It happens with everybody. So yeah, I separated into two things. One, I do think the show should do better by Drew, which then would help some other things. But also, if Drew was irradiating puppies like Emma thought that Kane from Y&R was doing, you still shouldn't hop up in Cameron's mentions or do whatever it is to like be rude to this man. And if you don't see it or you don't care, like okay, but let him get it off. Oh, I don't know. How do you feel about it? I know that you're just hearing about it from me.
Yeah. I think. I think the internet is just always, at least, Twitter and all them. Twitter's just become a hellscape, I think. And a lot,
Yeah.
yeah, I think they just enjoy being negative. Um, Now, what you're saying about people being mean and rude to Drew prior, the only inkling I got was that yes, people were still um mourning or wanting to have Billy Miller role. And so in that instance, it might be a little understandable. But once you guys get to the understanding where, we can't have Billy Miller back, we have to be able to move on. Drew is actually, I mean, Cameron Matheson is a good actor. So why are you visiting whatever ire you have about the character Drew onto Cameron Matheson is crazy to me. The fact that people cannot separate a character from a person is crazy to me. And then you look at Cameron Matheson's life and how much he has been through personally. He does not deserve that. No
Hmm.
one does, but he in particular does not deserve that. And
Yeah.
so I don't blame him to trying to just say, hey, y'all, some of the stuff you're saying is hurtful not only to me, but to my daughter. And he has every right to do that. You do not have a right to be insult. I mean, yes, you do kind of have a right to be insulting, but you shouldn't just because you have that right. It makes no
Yeah.
sense. I mean, you do unto others as you would have done unto you. If people didn't like the job you were doing, would you want them to be personal and go on social media and drag you over your job? No. Why do you think that it's okay to do it to someone who's famous? It
Hmm.
makes no sense.
Hmm.
So yeah,
Yeah.
shame on all those people. Shame on people who feel that they are justified in making those comments in
Yeah.
particular. And
And
for
I,
me, a lot
oh,
of those
sorry.
people might be bots, but if you're a
Yeah.
real person engaging in these behaviors, you need to check yourself.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah. That, that is right. I do agree that some of those people are bots. Um,
Hmm.
I think the other piece is like, I try really hard to, um, be really clear about not like there's not actors on the show who I don't like. I didn't like
Right.
Ingo, so that is what it is. I didn't like I don't particularly care for Nancy as a person, but I'm not running up in Nancy's mentions. You
Right.
know, like that's I just
Yeah.
am not doing that. Um, it was interesting to me, like when I was at the fan event, like I had taken pictures with Becky and Cynthia Watros. Becky, who plays Liz, and then Cynthia Watros, who plays Nina. And so a couple people were like, "Oh, I'm surprised that you took pictures with them." I'm like, I can't stand Nina. Cynthia. As a matter of fact, I had a very great exchange with Cynthia. And Becky has been on the other side of my fave for 20 years. Of course, I want to meet Becky. Like, I don't have some kind of personal like feeling. And she was beyond a sweetheart
Hmm.
and gave me some of her skincare routine, and it's helping. That's not wearing makeup. Okay, so Becky is all right with me.
Right.
First of all, like you can hate a character. You can even think an actor is not doing a decent job at it. And I think for me personally, I'm not saying for me personally, I'm not even like if somebody's online and they say whatever, that's one thing. But like directing that vitriol to people, tagging them, going in their mentions, and also, and also, we all know that Twitter's For You page says like whatever.
Yeah.
So you get on your For You page and that comes up. It's not that people are searching out their name. I saw somebody cussing out who's a Phyllis, the lady who plays Phyllis on YNR, who used to play Nina.
Oh yeah, I saw
Like
that too.
they
And I was
like
just like,
literally calling her
wow.
like a bee. I was
Right.
like, "What?" And, and it had like hundreds of likes.
Yes. And then it ended up in her mentions, and she was just like, this is a shame or this shouldn't happen. And then they went back and they still went off on her. I was just like,
Yeah. I was
why?
like, I don't. look, I also know that I'm older. Who knows how it felt when I was 20? I understand that when I started watching this soap or when I started like really engaging with this soap online, it's a
Hmm.
big difference between doing something on an anonymous message board and like talking crazy about people, right? Like at the height of like ship wars, mostly because those people don't actually like go on and see these things, and it's not like directly attached to your name and whatever.
Yeah.
That's really different than like the way social media looks now. So I don't know. I
Hmm.
mean, I would like to think I wouldn't be a mess out here, but who knows? At the height of Nixon Falls, maybe I would have been in Cynthia Waters' mentions like, like who
Yeah.
knows?
But I think since social media gives people a shield, to
Yeah,
engage in behaviors they would not do in person.
yeah,
Like, I highly doubt anyone. Well, yeah, if you saw those instances of people throwing food at him in the grocery store, but it's not the same as what people are doing on social media.
yeah.
And whatever ire is with, Michelle Stafford, again, if any of these people saw her face to face on the street, I highly doubt they engage with her in the
Yeah.
same way. And so
I mean,
that's
I
why
don't
it's
watch
just like,
Y&R, but I am a Phyllis and Nick fan because
yeah,
I like try to win this.
but I'm just saying, what makes you feel that you are important? Why does hiding behind a screen and being a bully make you feel important? If you can't, and not to say that you should, but like, why are you engaging in behaviors you can't do in real life? That,
Hmm.
I'm of the school where I'm feeling like my mom was looking down on me every day. And if I have the gall to speak to people in a way, I know she's gonna come down and beat me or something. I don't know. But I'm just saying, like it's just something inherent instilled in me and a lot of people just to, treat people with courtesy and respect and empathy and treat them like you would want to be treated. And so just being behind a computer screen and being a bully and being mean is really cowardly.
Hmm.
It's not something to be proud of. But social media, you get more likes, you get more shares, and you're just popular because you're a mean person or you engage in negativity. It's a really sad state of affairs that we're in that social media has led us to.
You are 100% right. Because if I go online right now, I think I posted something like about really liking Finn Carr and like he's
Hmm.
great. And also, it's not just about people, but it's about the way the algorithm pushes that stuff. And
Right,
so it got like, whatever. But this is like a young man who deserves this. Like, if I saw that, I'd be like, yeah, like I would love to like support this young man. But if I tweet out something about hating Drew, it's gonna get 200, 300 likes because the algorithm pushes it
right.
that way. And so not only are people particularly nasty on social media sometimes, but even our algorithms push nastiness. And so when
Yeah.
Cameron says like, just be kind, I think that part of that is also because we can help by pushing kindness more
Kindness.
into the algorithm as
Hmm.
opposed to like constant negativity, which
Right.
is what happens. Like there are shows that I don't watch, and if I happen to go on like my For You page and I'll just see like, oh my God, everybody hates this. It's all negative. It's all negative. And I'm like, that probably is not true, but it just feels that way. So I
Yeah.
imagine like if you're an actor and you happen to log on, I know some of them have just been like, I don't do Twitter for my mental health. I don't do it for my peace, whatever.
Yeah.
I think that's also why it was Cameron's daughter who saw this stuff because he probably
Hmm.
knows to stay away from it.
Yeah. I
Like
think,
he's like, you know what? Let me not even go in these comment sections. But if my mom or my family was doing something, I'm like, of course I want to see what it's like. I'm gonna go see a supercut of what my people doing.
yeah. It's hard for me to forget that the majority of people are not actually on social media.
Hmm.
Because we do the work that we're doing, even in this podcast, it's social media driven, right?
Yeah, for sure.
But the majority of people in the world aren't necessarily on Twitter or on Blue Sky or whatever, or even Facebook. I imagine it's the same for all the people who are fans of soap operas. There's probably a bunch of people who have never been on Twitter and watch the soaps and love Cameron. and he probably knows this, but young people, their world is so tied to internet and social media and all this other stuff. It is very emotional and traumatic and all the things when they come across negativity.
Yeah,
And that's why there's been such a push, I think, with our elected leaders to try to tamp that down or curb what the effects of social media. And there's all sorts of, new programs where they're trying to limit teenage exposure, et cetera, et cetera. Um, but, like when it comes to politics, we have people who thinking they can win an election just based off of social media alone. No, because not everyone is tuned in like that. You got to actually go out and speak to people. And so I have always have to remember that. It's just like people are people inherently are different than the people that are in social media.
well,
So
absolutely,
that's something we got to remember too.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, y'all, thanks for if you're engaged that far. Thanks for listening. We're gonna
Yeah.
go into previews for next week.
And it's gonna be good, y'all. I'm gonna have my hankies.
Monday, Britt and Emma face off.
Mhm.
Lulu confides in Carly, which is interesting because like you about to have Lulu talk to Carly about okay. Um
Oh, God, yes.
Trina wants to confess. Oh my God, girl, you acting like Isaiah. You acting like your stepdaddy. Alexis confers with Felicia. Dante loses his temper. Tuesday, Jason offers an apology. Dante opens up to Lulu. Sidwell is left fuming. Britt issues an ultimatum. Brennan questions Carly. Wednesday, the election results are in. Alexis briefs Jason. Emma is outraged. Vaughn summons Joss. Nathan provides an ear to Lulu.
Mm.
Thursday, Laura makes a shocking discovery. Britt is shaken. Lucas and Marco dine with Ava. Michael introduces Lucinda to Sunny.
Ooh.
Chase furthers his investigation. I wonder if Laura's discovery is going to be the professor's body because we
Right.
already know how Sidwell get down. You mess around once. uh, and then Friday, Michael plays Peacemaker. Chase has news for Alexis. Marco makes a big decision. Gio confides in Sunny. Jason grills Brits.
Mhm.
Ooh, Chase about to make me mad next week. I already know it. Okay. Y'all, please make sure to like, share, subscribe. Tell a friend. Leave us a comment on whatever platform you are on. You can buy us a coffee. You can buy some merch. If you buy merch, please post it up, send it to me so I can post you on our socials. And we will see you next week.
Yes,
Bye.
be kind, be encouraging, and be encouraged yourself.
Period.
I want that.